Okay, today let's put the compass and the map together. I've got a regular gazetteer here for the state of New Hampshire, and what do you say we go to Pittsburgh today?
Sure.
Want to come over to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I'm down.
In order for the map to do you any good, you have to first line it up with the world. You can set an azimuth and a direction for going out and coming back right off the map. Now we can park our truck right here and face in the direction we're going to go. We can hold our compass the right way. We can let the needle find itself with the world and put red in the shed, put north on it or opposite, whatever you want to do, and set our compass up for the day that way. There's another way that we can do it. If I take my compass and I put north and my direction of travel arrow lined up together, and then I set the compass on the edge of my paper, then I turn the map until red is in the shed. So now I've got now what I've done is I've lined the map up with the world. Now the map can actually do me some good. If you know where you're standing on the map, you know the spot that you're standing, and let's say we're right here on Route 3, and we know that we're standing right about here, and we'd like to go to this peak right here. What I'll do is I'll leave my map lined up with the world. You can't do this on the hood of the truck, right? The metal for it. What you want to do, if you know right where you're standing, let's say we're on that elbow of that road right there, take the center pin of your compass and set it right on your location. So I set that pin right on my location, just like so, and my direction of travel arrow is pointed forward. And what I want to do is hold the azimuth ring and then point the direction of travel arrow at the mountain that I want to go. So I know I'm right here and I want to go to the mountain, so I'll set it on. I got to turn it just a little bit more. It's underneath there some. And now what I've done is I've set my azimuth ring for the day. So now when I know I'm standing in that location, I hold my compass the right way and I turn my body until red is in the shed, and the peak of that mountain is right in front of me. I've set it to leave the blacktop and go towards the peak of that mountain. And if I whip it out and I'm standing in any old direction and I whip it out and I hold my compass the right way and I put white in the shed and I bring that around, now I can head right back to the road. It is so handy to put the two of them together. Now, if Taylor's holding the compass here, and you can just hold it and you can film this, remember that the compass's job is to turn your body. So to go into the woods, he'll put red in the shed, and this is the direction he's walking off in. And when he wants to go home, he'll turn his body until white is in the shed.
Boom.
And now he's headed right back to the road. This is a really handy gadget. Now, one other thing, say we walk up and we get on top of the hill, and we know now that we're on top of the hill. We've guided ourselves to the top of the hill. And say we'd like to come out down by this intersection here. We can now take the map, line it up, right? We can line it up with the world. We can put our pin right on top of our known location. We're on top of the hill now. You can see right there, we're right on top of the hill. We'll hold the azimuth ring and we'll turn the base plate around to the direction we want to head to that intersection. Just like so. And now we'll just hold our compass and we'll turn our bodies until red is in the shed. And now instead of going to our old target, we'll go to the new target. That's another really handy thing. We can reset, especially when you're sure of where you are.
Now, if you're not sure of where you are,
you don't know where we're on top of the peak right here.
We think.
I can stand on top of the peak, hold my compass, point my direction to travel to a known, what looks like an object, a target in the distance. Like, say, that little round pond right there. I'll take an azimuth reading to that little round pond, and then I'll read what the number is. I'll come over here and I'll bend my map. I'll take my map and I'll bend it like so. And just like that, I'll draw a line on it. Now, I'll take another, say I can see this swamp over here. What I think is this swamp. I can see these lakes. I can count them. And I see this. If I take an azimuth reading to this and then bend the page and do the same thing and bring that I'd have to actually bend the top part of it here. When you're on the upper half, you may have to bend it use the other half of the page. I can bend that around and draw a line, and if I pick the 2 right targets, I'm standing on the X. That's how I found
You'll
myself.
know based on the degrees that your azimuth
You're
ring
basically
reads.
triangulating. Yep. Now, if you have it wrong, the 2 lines will not cross.
Yep.
Or they'll be like parallel, so you'll know you've got the wrong targets that you're looking at. And it's really not a big deal, but once you practice it a little bit, that's really where it's at. The other thing that I like to do is, if you have a map like this and you're going to be going out in that direction, you can take this map, put it right on your copier or on your printer, print yourself out this map and take it right in the woods with you. Take a couple copies. One could start a fire if you needed it, right?
Yeah, fold it up, keep it in a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag or something.
Sure. And when you have like one big giant main road, if I was anywhere up in here and I headed downhill, I'm going to hit a road. All the water drains, right? The direction of the drainage is all real important. So if you understand the direction of the drainage, the major roads, which way they go, and if it goes east-west, and we went to the north, well, south is out.
Yep.
If I can continue going south far enough, I'm going to hit that road.
Yeah.
And that's a nice knowing that you can head in a certain direction and it's there. And staying calm, cool, and collected and practicing with it, that's where it's at. It's not real difficult. It's pretty simple. When you go a little ways, I would take you guys out, right? And I would say, where's the truck? So you'd whip out your compass and you'd turn your body until White's in the shed and you'd say, it's right there. And I'd say, well, how far do you think it is? And then you'd whip out the GPS and you would guess, oh, we've been walking for about a half an hour, right? Which is a quarter mile for you guys.
Yeah,
right?
which back then was not a lot of distance. Right? Yeah, that was short.
So you'd say about a quarter mile, right? We've been walking for 20 minutes, right? You would say that. We've been walking for 20 minutes, Dad. Keeping track of the time, keeping track of the direction, pretty easy to do. If you lost complete sense, you just lost it, and you were just completely worried. If you're in the northern hemisphere on planet Earth, the sun is always on the southern side of you. So if you face the sun, you're at least facing east, south, or west, right? Wherever that sun is, you're at least facing in those directions, and your back will be in a northerly pretty much, unless it's first thing in the morning. And if it's just coming up, you know where east is. If it's in the evening and it pops up, you know where west is, right? So you can put the west on that right shoulder and you know you're facing south. You can figure that out in just a few seconds. If it's a cloudy day like today and you look at things in general and just watch for shadows, watch for things, and it doesn't take too long and you'll notice if you have snow and it snows on top of your tracks, you're not going to be able to backtrack, right? If you cross some big barrier that you might not want to go back across, that can be an issue too, right? So just take your time and practice with it. And after a while, you'll trust it so much, you'll be able to go boom, 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 and come right out.
I think the biggest thing that helps people navigate is knowing your terrain, knowing where you are before you go. Doing a little recon ahead of time. Look at the map before you go.
Right, and have a mental map in your head.
At least a little bit of knowledge in what's around you when you go out. Because most of us aren't hunting out in the tundra of Canada where you can't see a thing for miles and miles and miles.
And everything looks the same.
Yeah, that's not normally the case.
And the more things look the same, the more you're going to have to pay a little attention to your tools.
Yep.
But they'll help you. They'll serve you. When I'm out there, I got my compass. I keep it right here. Put my lanyard over my neck. I can whip that thing out at any time. Head for a target, a valley, a hill, a tree way off in the distance or whatever, and just keep watching and heading and just go. Got the GPS. Whip the GPS out, turn it on, let it find itself, and away we go. We'll touch on that a little bit here too in another video, and the beauty of the GPS and how that is so nice, and it gets people out there.
But it does have some drawbacks.
Right.
It does.
It's a tool, and when you understand it, it's just a tool, and when you understand how to use it, it'll serve you all you need. I try and wear layers as much as possible. The Beagle wear that we've got, my old battle armor here, been around a long time, been using this stuff a long time. I like the lacrosse boots. This set that I bought latches in the back. I don't care for those quite too much. If you have little heavier calves like Jimmy, having that flap, being able to open farther helps keep it from squeezing on your calves. I also like the button tread on the bottom of these. Whoops. I'm going to keep my balance here. I like the button tread because it doesn't slip sideways, frontwards, backwards. It bites in every direction.
Which is nice when you're going up steep stuff.
Yeah, it's like logger kind of cleats.
Yep.
They dig right in and you won't
They
slip.
don't have that much insulation though, and we find that you have to lay out. We like to wear lots of thick socks and stuff like that. They're fairly thin walled, and we have we put a little felt pad in the bottom, and that thing makes it perfect and nice. It gives you that a little bit of absorption from hitting stuff and whatever. But Lacrosse is where it's at. We love them. As far as all the other boots that we've tried, they work. They feel like they work the best for tracking. There's a lot of other boots, like a lot of people use mucks and stuff like that, and those are really good, with heavier insulation, and they're way nicer for sitting. When it comes to sitting, Lacrosse is not exactly what you want because you get chilled up in a hurry.
Oh yeah, you can. But they're real light, and they're also flexible enough on the bottom so I can feel sticks and stuff and avoid busting them if I'm trying to be real quiet. You can feel the ground some, and I kind of like that. They're also really light on your foot, so when you're climbing uphill and stuff, it's really good, and they bite good when they dig in. Some guys like to have their pants on the outside of their boot to keep the brush from slapping on it.
Keeps it quiet, like Hal Blood or all these other guys.
He likes tape around the bottom and he hooks it.
Mostly trackers like that.
Yeah. One of the things I found that's a downside, especially if it's pretty cold, is if you get that bottom part of your pants wet, it can wick up it, and it can also freeze on the outside. And now you're doing this frozen thing between your legs, and I don't care for that too much. When I know something's going to slap my boot, I slow down and slide through it. Really ain't the end of the world, but it's worked pretty good. And there's so many times I've stepped in muck or something where I thought it was solid ground, and I went right to the top.
And they're 18 inches, so they're fairly tall, and you can get through some. We've had to, like a couple of our videos back there, we had to wade through some serious water and things like that. And it comes in handy having it all the way up, and not having the felt and the mesh that goes up. Like a lot of boots have like the little cutaway or whatever. That's fabric, and having solid rubber is kind of nice. But hot days, you sweat.
The coat having pockets everywhere, and even pockets to slide inside.
And the best pocket,
that's the best one, is that one
in the back.
In the back right here, we also have a great big pocket where I can set like a t-shirt. I can put some food.
It unzips all the way across.
Cameras, it unzips on the opposite side.
It's like a sweater pouch.
Yeah, and if I didn't have a jacket with that, I would build that into my jacket. I would take the time to put a pouch on the inside. The other thing that's really good about these coats is it's got an interior layer, and then it's got that kind of woolish outside. Having something that's quiet when it drags on the brush is very important, and wool, of course, when it's cold, will still keep its heat value. If you have anything with a cotton type,
like denim,
it loses its insulating value the second it gets wet. These can be really wet, and they don't. You don't lose the warmth in them, and that's really nice.
We hunt in the rain all the time because New England doesn't always get snow in the beginning of rifle season, so you have to deal with rain. But that's okay.
They are fairly warm clothes.
Yeah, you get hot.
So the layers underneath are fairly important. But this beagle wear has a little plastic layer on the in between the two layers of material that is full of holes, and it helps it breathe. And that's it was a patented type thing for these, and it was pretty good and like it. It also has pockets on the inside. It has a nice big deep good pocket. I keep my radio on one side, I keep my phone on the other side. I've got a regular iPhone 7 with a Pelican case,
good
so I
camera.
can clip it down in for my camera. That works pretty good, and anything I've got to film real quick, like having something extra on it is nice. Also too, where you store your gear and where you keep it. I usually have one pocket for candy or
snacks
snacks of some kind,
wrappers by the end of the day
or whatever. That's important. I need a light of some kind. I also have my gun belt. I keep all my bullets right on there. It's all nice and quiet. They're never clinking. There's never any bullet sounds, no metal rattling away. But if I need a bullet, I can just grab that thing, whip it right out, slam it right in, reload the gun. Because I'm shooting a 7mm Magnum, you can only get 4 shots inside the gun. Having those extra rounds right there, easy to grab, is nice. If I happen to use a couple 3 bullets during the day, say shoot a partridge's head off to bring him back for supper or whatever, I've got a plastic gallon Ziploc bag. I keep that bag with me. I'll breast the bird out and put it right in my pouch, and I can take it with me for the rest of the day, and we'll eat partridge hors d'oeuvres at the end of the day. Those are really good. But I like to have lots of ammunition on me. Say I shot a couple times, then I shot at a deer a couple 3 times, and then like with the story of Zigzag, where I had to, we'll have to tell that story too, where I spent part of the night in the woods with my buck, and I didn't have radio contact with the partners, and I was over a mile from the road still, and I'd been dragging a lot, and I was tired, and just, one of those times, and we had a plan of shooting after, at the top of the hour and the bottom of the hour, just so everybody will know that we're okay. If you hear a shot, whoever's in the woods is at least good enough to shoot, right?
Yeah.
You may need help still, but he's out there. And being able to shoot back and forth if we needed to in the middle of the dark back in the days when we didn't have radios.
And
so I started carrying ammo with me, and now if one of us dropped our ammo or ran out of ammo, we can switch ammo amongst each other, and that works really good.
Yep. And but we'll cover ammunition. We'll also cover our rifles and things that we use in an upcoming video that'll be pretty quick here. But so that's pretty much a good touch on compasses and the overall battle armor get up that we got. That's right.
It's just close.
Close.
Do what works for you. Just this happens to be what works for us. We have good luck doing it, but whatever works and is comfortable for you. And after you do it a while, you'll develop your gear, and you'll also look at more gear and different gear, and you'll find the stuff that works the best for you. And it doesn't take long, and you try lightening the load all the time.
Oh yes.
I just started out carrying tons of stuff because I was all worried, and then over time, I don't need this, don't need that, don't need this, don't need that. Then I went a little too much, and I needed a few things, and then I really got it down to what
Man, that flashlight is nice. Yeah. We'll tell that. Zigzag's a good story. We'll have to do that for a throwback or something.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. Yeah.
All right, everybody.
All right. See you later.
All right,
have fun out there.
Bye-bye.